working on this poor, sad little neglected philodendron. This is my Philodendron Billietiae. Let's call it Billy. This is Billy, Philodendron Billy. I've had Billy for 3 years. I've had Billy for about 3 years now. And when I first got her, she grew with very, very tight spacing between her nodes, internodal spacing, very tight. So all the way down here, she was growing outward, but not really up. And then I gave her a moss pole at some point, and she raced up it, took off, and has been growing like crazy, really. But poor Billy suffers extreme neglect at my hands. As you can see, she's reached the top of this pole a long time ago. This pole is bone dry. For real, it's bone dry. So just to give you an idea, I water this whenever I remember, which turns out to not be very often. And this plant sits right in the south facing window, so it is dry. It's dry. That's not ideal. Really, this is a very, very thirsty plant. It needs to be watered a lot more frequently than that. It also really ought to be in a bigger pot. It has an extremely vigorous root system. It has rooted into the pole, but obviously, because I keep it so dry, that's no use. It's grown off the pole, and it's got all these little nubs where the aerial roots want to dig into something, but I haven't given it anything to dig into, so let's change all that today. Today, we're going to extend this pole, give this Billy something to hang on to, strap it up, and water it. Water it deeply so that it soaks in all the moisture and has something to hold on to. And then hopefully I will get better about watering it, and the added pole will give it more moisture so it can continue to grow. But before we do that, let's rewind. Let's go back to the beginning. So I bought this guy from a private collector here in New York City. And at the time that I bought it, these were impossible to come by. Like it was the height of, plant mania, and nobody had them. So I think I got it on a Facebook group, and I traipsed all the way to Roosevelt Island to pick it up. Yeah, that's how desperate I was. And it was super tiny, like tiny. It was really, really small and so cute. So when I brought it home, it adapted instantly. Very, very easygoing plant. I think I was giving it kind of medium-ish light at first, and it was growing, it was just throwing out roots like crazy. It outgrew that tiny pot really quickly. I took too long to repot it, as I do. But I potted it up successively. It just kept growing, like growing, putting out bigger and bigger and bigger leaves. And then, fatefully, one day, for some reason, I moved it to a dark corner. I'm not sure why I did that. I don't know. I was shuffling my plants around. I think it had been under a grow light, and I took it away from there and put it in a dark corner. During the time that it was in that dark corner, it still grew. That's how resilient this plant is. It still grew. The size of the leaves shrank. So it went from producing this type of leaf, you see? It went from producing this to producing this tiny leaf. The stem became greener and it became a lot smaller. So I immediately knew that the plant was very unhappy with the lighting, because you don't go from this to this. This is basically as tiny as it was back in the beginning. So once I saw that, I moved it out from the dark corner into the living room and immediately threw out this one. And then I stuck it right in the south window, and it gave me this one. So now all is well. So now that it's getting adequate light, the stems are oranger than before, and they are thicker. Like, look at this. You can see right here. Look at how orange this is, right? So it obviously is very happy with the lighting situation. I now need to work on my watering. I don't water it enough. I'm sorry. If I watered this plant multiple times, at least a couple of times a week, it would be doing insanely well. The nice thing about this is, regardless of the conditions you give it, it's going to thrive. Like, this plant is crazy. It's very vigorous. I haven't cut it, but I think after this extend, I will cut it because it's just there isn't really space for it. But also, the leaves are very unruly. The growth habit is very gangly. I've never been really great at rearranging my leaves to accommodate for a horrendous, what I think is a horrendous growth habit. I mean, it's cool, but also, like, you know, it's a tiny apartment. Where's it going to go? So she's going to have to get the chop at some point, but that day's not today. Today, we're going to extend the pole, stuff it with moss, give her lots and lots of water, and then support her so that she doesn't snap herself in half, which is something that could very well be a reality, the rate at which we're going. So I'm going to get my supplies and we'll get started. That's a disaster. Ugh, I can feel sap. Did I break it? Now, in all honesty, moss pole aside, this plant could just do with a new pot. It's too heavy. It's literally forcing this pot to tip over. So I either need to find it a very heavy cash pole just to hold it in place, or I don't know. I'm gonna have to come up with some kind of a solution. And when I add a second moss pole, that's not gonna help. It's definitely gonna need something to hold it in place. So I think I've got some pot Tetris to do around here, but I've watered it thoroughly. I'm gonna allow the water to soak in. This pole does not tend to get moist as quickly as I would like. When I made it, I actually made the mistake of adding perlite because I just thought it would need it. What a silly thing to do for a thirst bucket of a plant. So don't do that with Billy. It's too thirsty for that. The pole will dry out too quickly. So now I'm gonna extend the pole and add moss to the extension. Luckily for me, I actually already have the exact measurement that I need pre-cut. I always make my poles exactly the same size for this situation, and I think I had this cut for something else but I didn't use it, so conveniently I have it and I'm going to use this one. And I'm using this moss today. This is not my favorite, this is my second favorite, but it is cheap as chips, so I'll be using this today. And what I'm going to do to extend it is I'll moisten the moss, fill the pole, and then I will use zip ties to attach the new pole to this one. And then once it's attached, I will pull Billy here up to rest against this pole. Now once that happens, she's going to be basically quite unsteady. So I'll need to find her something to sit in so that she can kind of, so she can stabilize a bit. And then I'll wipe down the leaves. She'll sit in her bright sunny window, and that'll be the end of that, really. Bob's your uncle. So let's get started on making the extension of the moss pole. I'll do that now, and then we will attach her to the plant. I basically need to soak the moss as much as possible and let it take in all the water that it can. and then it will be ready to stuff the pot with. The thing I don't like about this moss is that it contains lots of little sticks, which honestly isn't really a big deal for a moss pole. I mean, if you were using it for a gecko, that wouldn't work, but I don't like them, so I pick them out. Silly, but I'm not very sensible about my plants. So I've got about 2/3 of the packet soaking. I think I'll just add a bit more water so that it soaks the water up sooner. Ideally, if you're better organized than me, you pre-soak the moss for a while before you make your pole, and you squeeze it out so it's moist and fluffy and juicy. This has got to be the fastest I've ever made a moss pole, which just proves that the problem comes from cutting this hardware cloth to begin with. I'm just going to strap this to the top of this pole to see if it helps to hold her up a bit and make it a little bit easier to work with so it doesn't keep trying to break itself. That's better. Top here, this, shove, shove, shove. So packed with moss, and hopefully that moisture can encourage my guy up there to do something. I'm going to be attaching, let's do this end. I think this is more aligned, and then she can be here. All right, let's use some zip ties. This is the most difficult part. Okay.
Can I call you Mom?
Hmm?
Can I call you Mom for the rest of my life?
Mm-hmm.
No, I want to call you Mommy.
Hmm?
I want to call you Mommy.
I want you to call me Mom.
Hmm?
I want you to call me Mommy.
Why?
Because I like it.
Call you what?
Mommy.
What was he calling?
Mom, which I did not like.
Exactly.
Mama.
I love mommy and I love
It's
mama.
trying to be funny.
Yeah.
I
Okay,
remember,
everybody flush their
when
poops.
Laura was calling you mom.
Everybody flushed their poops, right?
When was that?
Yes.
My
When
buggy
have I
baby.
ever called her mom?
My buggy baby.
You did
Laura.
post in the night.
Mom.
Lara, go and have a bath.
I left the shower on.
Why?
No, you didn't.
I did.
Why would you do that?
Wait, why we
You
have
hear that noise?
No, sorry, don't have a bath. Have a shower, rather. No bath. Have a shower.
But why we haven't showered?
To clean your body. What do you
Yeah,
mean?
but the thing is, you said no, only showers doing You said only showers on weekdays,
Mhm.
and today is
Friday, which is a weekday. Yes.
Yeah, but technically not since tomorrow's Saturday.
It's still a weekday, bro.
Yeah, but then that
You
means
go to school, don't you?
it's Sunday and tomorrow is, and the day after that is Monday.
What?
And that's a weekday.
Still a weekday, my
What?
friend.
Are we talking about?
Just talking about the fact that today is in fact a weekday.
We went to school.
You went to school.
Laura, here's the towel.
Hey.
Can someone hand me, Laura, can you grab me a chopstick?
No, do I want to do it?
Let her do it, let her do it. I asked Laura.
Ow! Sorry. Wait, I'm getting. I want.
No, it's okay. Laura, get me a chopstick. I asked Laura. Thank you. Theo, come here. Come here. Theo, I'm gonna count to 5. 1. Listen, if you don't stop throwing fits, your Legos are going back.
No.
Why are you throwing a fit? I asked Laura to get a chopstick. Would you like it if she
I
did
want
with you?
to do that.
So, but I asked her. Wanting to do something is not a good enough reason to just do whatever you want, Teddy. You wouldn't like it if she did that to you, would you? Would ya? Answer me, would you like it if Laura took your turn at something? No, you would not. Please don't fall. I'm trying to add some more. See if I can make it straighter. Just feel like it could be sturdier. It's not tight enough. Tighter on like this. This is not even to this one. You feel? Do another one here. I have these big ones. This could work. Oh, this is too big. Teddy, can you get me a fork instead? Please?
Laura's only gonna do it.
Get it now. And stop being rude before I put you in timeout. I don't like rude kids. To be honest, waiting this long to extend this pole has been a proper nightmare. Like, the new plant is so heavy that it is breaking. It's literally breaking from the weight. So I'm sort of wondering if I should just have cut it, really, and cut my losses and accepted that, you know, I've neglected it and that's that. But, you know, in for a penny, in for a pound. So let's extend it, and lesson learned next time. Don't wait this long to extend the pole. Okay. She's attached. Now I'm gonna trim these. pole extended, and honestly I think she looks quite silly and she's not completely stable. I think my extension could use an iron rod to reinforce it. I do have some in the back. I will add one. In the meantime, one of my favorite tricks for increasing the root ball in the pot when the pot is too small is to add some damp cocoa coir to the top. This encourages crazy rooting. Plants root into cocoa coir like mad. So I'm going to put some damp cocoa coir at the top of the pot, just right down there, and that will allow it to root into that. It will root into that basically, and hopefully be a lot more sturdy and stable. Okay, well, now that she's fully potted up and extended, she looks good. She looks fabulous. I'm just going to add this rod here. I'm going to use it to reinforce the join. I don't always do this, but I'm doing it because this is a heavy plant and it will definitely, the zip ties alone will not be able to hold the weight. So what you do is you push the rod into the pot. So the rod is in the pot, stuck in the pot, and then you attach it to the exterior of the pole. I attach it to the exterior instead of running it through the inside because when it comes to the time to chop, you want to be able to easily remove this. So I use zip ties to attach this to the back of the pole, and it's a lot stronger and sturdier at the joint as a result. Now, if you want, you can attach two, but there's no, in my opinion, there's no need. The bit that you're trying to reinforce is where the zip ties are holding this together, just to give it that extra bit of sturdiness. So I'm gonna do that now. Okay, so I start at the top and just shove it in. This part is super easy because honestly, this is also why you don't pack the moss pole too tightly, so that the zip tie can just slide in, pull it taut. Bob's your uncle. Slide in. Pull it taut. Bob's your uncle. I'm going to cut off the extras. And there you have it, all done. Billy is extended, sturdy on her new pole, topped with cocoa coir to hopefully help her root some more and to give her some more moisture retention to work with, because obviously cocoa holds a lot of water, so hopefully she'll be a lot happier and she'll be right as rain. I should wipe down these leaves while I have her out, so I'll probably do that now. I'm just going to adjust this. I think it looks a bit naff, to be honest. How's this? Is this good? All right. So, yep, that's it. Billy's done. Everything is sorted. I'm glad I finally got that out the way. I doubt I'll wait that long to extend the pole again. When she gets to the top of this pole, I'll just chop through the zip ties. Hopefully I will water this as much as I can so that it does root into the pole. And then when she gets to the top of the pole, I'll chop off this bit here and, you know, extend this plant, get rid of the bottom half, and on we go, right? Philodendron Billietiae, one of the easiest care plants I've ever come across, and perfect for beginners. About as easy as a snake plant, in my opinion. If you don't have one, or if you want to get started with plants, this is a great place to start. Until next time, I'll see you